Good morning everyone, this is T. Dubey, and in today's class, as you can see on your computer screen, we are going to begin a new story from your book Vistas, that is Journey to the End of the Earth, written by Tishani Doshi. But as usual, first of all, it is important for you to know how this lecture has been organized. And by now I think you must have known also that each lecture is being organized under 5 or 6 headings. And these 5-6 headings, first of all, we will be discussing a little about this title, Journey to the End of the Earth, followed by a brief introduction of the author, Tishani Doshi, and then we will be discussing the central idea of this particular story, Journey to the End of the Earth. Having discussed that, we will move on to the explanation, detailed explanation of the chapter, Journey to the End of the Earth, so that whenever you have to write an exam perfect answer, you can know what keyword is there in this particular chapter and what can be the questions that are likely to be asked from this story. After we have completed the chapter, we will be discussing the summary, and then I would advise you to take up any question from anywhere and use the video to understand from which part of the story it has been asked, and do only one thing: writing. Hardly 10 to 15 days work on English can take you to 100% score. So let's begin discussion on the title of the story, Journey to the End of the Earth. So what do you mean by this title? Why has this story been titled Journey to the End of the Earth? Actually, it is the story of a journey taken by Tishani Doshi to the Antarctica. And because Antarctica is one of the poles of the earth, end of the earth, that is why she has given this title, Journey to the End of the Earth. So hope you must have understood why this title has been given, Journey to the End of the Earth. Now, who is Tishani Doshi? Have a look and read this paragraph given in front of you. You can get some idea who she is, so that you can understand about the ideas, about the thoughts, about opinions of the author. It will be easier for you to understand the entire story that we will be following. So look at the first sentence and let us keep the bold points, bold pieces of information about the author in mind. So when was she born? On December 1975 in Madras. It means she is an Indian writer. About parentage. So she was born to a Welsh mother and Gujarati father. Now the second line is talking about her qualifications. Graduated with a master's degree in creative writing from the United States. So she is a graduate in creative writing, and that also from America. At present, right, you can search in Google also. A lot of her blogs are there, her pictures are there. She is a versatile personality. So at present she works as a freelance writer and journalist, not associated with any company. She has also worked with choreographer Chandralekha. Chandralekha is a very famous choreographer who trains, different types of dance steps of classical dances. So she worked with Chandralekha, a very famous personality. Chandralekha is a dancer and a choreographer. You can search also further if you want, but there is no need. Now, the other part of this introduction is talking about her works, what works she has done. So in 2006, she won the Forward Prize for her debut poetry book, Countries of the Body. Keep this work in mind, Countries of the Body. Her short story, Lady Cassandra, Spartacus and the Dancing Man, was published in its entirety in the journal Drawbridge in 2007. Her poetry book, A God at the Door, was shortlisted for 2021 Forward Prize under Best Poetry Collection category. She writes blogs for a cricket-related website. So this is something about Tishani Doshi. So we can understand her parentage, her qualification, her works, and presently she is writing for cricket related websites. You can see her giving commentary also, right? So she is a versatile genius, and you can also understand the importance of Tishani Doshi, because her work Journey to the End of the Earth has been included in CBSE curriculum of standard 12. So it's not a small achievement. It's no small achievement. It's a very big achievement, right? So she has been a multi-talented personality, multifaceted personality. Now, talking about the central idea or theme of this particular essay. This is not story, it's actually essay. So what is the central idea? Please keep the central idea in your mind. It will help you establish yourself as a student who can provide substance in the answer. So keeping the central idea or theme for the student is of great importance. In simple word, it is of great importance for you, and that is why I am providing you central idea. So central idea must be memorized. Okay, now moving on to the central idea. The central idea of this essay is to highlight the profound significance. Profound means great, significance means importance. So the central idea of this essay is to highlight the great importance of Antarctica in the context of Earth's geological history. Geological history means Earth's history, how it evolved, how it, what has been its history. Environmental preservation. So why it is required to preserve our environment, and the impact of human activities on the planet. So these 3 points need to be kept in mind for your examination. So this particular piece, Journey to the End of the Earth, talks about Earth's geological history, environmental preservation, and the impact of the human activities on the planet. The author reflects on his thinks, ponders. So the author reflects on her journey to Antarctica, emphasizing its historical connection. When we come to know the story, its historical, where were we? The author reflects on her journey to Antarctica, emphasizing its historical connection to India through the ancient supercontinent Gondwana and the unique insights it offers into the Earth's past, present, and future. Again, this line is also very, very important. Very, very important, because what author will try to do is, through her journey, so she will try to show, she will emphasize its historical connection, how the Antarctica used to be connected with India. There was a time when India and Antarctica used to be the part of the same landmass. So she will show you this part also, and how Earth's past, present, and future can be understood. So this is another keyword that you should keep in mind. Fine. Moving on to the next line. The essay also underscores, the word underscores means emphasize, accentuates, highlights. So the essay also accentuates or highlights the importance of environmental education. Now she will be talking about a program, Students on Ice program, why students are being taken to areas like Antarctica and Arctic regions, so that today's students can understand how important it is to preserve this environment and to maintain the Earth's characteristics without disturbing it. So the piece is also talking about, the essay also underscores the importance of environmental education and the need for proactive measures to address climate change and protect the delicate ecosystems of Antarctica. Ultimately, finally, it conveys a sense of wonder and concern for the planet's future, with a call to action for preserving its natural balance. So by and large, I think you must have understood what this piece tries to convey, what it wants to, teach us, and what Tishani Doshi wants to, send out as a message through this piece, Journey to the End of the Earth. So hope this central idea part must have become clear. Now it is time to go for line by line explanation of the story. Now let us begin the explanation of this story line by line. But before I begin, I would like to suggest you one thing. The first phrase of this story, early this year. So this year she is not mentioning the year in which she had made this journey to the Antarctica. So as per my research, it was the year 2009. If you want to confirm it from your side, you can do it, please. Okay, so she says that early this year, that means early in January 2009, I found myself aboard a Russian research vessel, the academic Shokalsky, heading towards the coldest, driest, windiest continent in the world, Antarctica. My journey began 13.09 degrees north of the equator in Madras and involved crossing 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 bodies of water, and at least as many ecospheres. So in this part of this story, that means in the first paragraph of this story, she is talking about her boarding of a Russian research ship. Vessel means ship, whose name is Academic Shokalsky. So far as this ship Academic Shokalsky is concerned, it keeps taking researchers, students and academicians to different parts of the world. So in 2009, Tishani Doshi was one of the team members that had gone to Antarctica, and she has described Antarctica by using a number of adjectives. These are the qualities or characteristics of Antarctica. It is one of the coldest, driest, windiest continent in the world. Now, in the next part of this paragraph, she is talking about where she began. So she says that my journey began 13.09 degrees north of the equator. Equator is an imaginary line on the globe. You can see north part and southern part. So far as Madras is concerned, it lies 13.09 degrees north of the equator. So she is talking in that number. And involved crossing 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 bodies of water, and at least as many ecospheres. So from Madras to Antarctica, she crossed 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 bodies of water. These 3 things I have written here. If you want to understand what is a time zone or what is a checkpoint, what are the bodies of water and what, so you can note it as your notes. And then moving on to the second paragraph of this story. Now, I have given a note also here. Note: one notable expedition involving the academic Shokalsky and the students on ICE program took place in December 2008 and January 2009. This is what I was talking about. During this expedition, students and educators boarded the vessel for a voyage to Antarctica. So I think because so far as academic Shokalsky is concerned, it made a number of expeditions to regions like Antarctica and Arctic. But this journey she took, I think she took in the year 2009. If you get another year, that would be better if you do a little bit of your own research. Now by next paragraph, what she says, by the time I actually set foot, that means I landed on the Antarctic continent, I had been traveling over 100 hours in combination of a car, an aeroplane and a ship. So my first emotion on facing Antarctica's expansive white landscape and uninterrupted blue horizon was relief. So what is she talking about? That when she began her journey from Madras and reached to Antarctica, so she is saying that it took her 100 hours. So she is talking about the details of her journey. First of all, she must have started from her home by a car, then by aeroplane she must have gone to Russia, and from there she started her journey to Antarctica by a ship. So she is describing, giving the details of a journey. So when she reached, what was her emotion on reaching Antarctica? This part is very, very important. So my first emotion on facing Antarctica's expansive white landscape. Why is she talking about, what does it mean? Expansive white landscape. She's talking about the ice area, the snow area of expansive line of that Antarctica's expansive white landscape. An uninterrupted blue horizon. So she's talking about the sky. So on the earth, she's talking about the ice area, or you can say snow area, and above she is talking about the sky, that she was in that kind of atmosphere. Moving on to the explanation I have written also here. It suggests she experienced a sense of relief when she finally arrived in Antarctica after a long and arduous journey. This line can also mean. Followed up with an immediate and profound wonder. Now this line I have underlined because it may come as your extract based question. Wonder at its immensity, its isolation, but mainly at how there could ever have been a time when India and Antarctica were part of the same landmass. So there, when she was on Antarctica, so first of all she must have felt relieved and then wondered. So she started thinking how there could have been a time when India and Antarctica, where she had gone, was a part of the same landmass. Yes. Many years ago, why should many? Crores of years ago, that we will discuss. Crores of years ago, by and large 65 crore years ago. So 65 crores years ago, India and Antarctica and the entire world used to be the part of the same landmass. What was that called? Let us see in the coming part of, so in the next paragraph she is going to talk about history of the earth, geological history of the earth. So look at this part, and as I have told you, please read it so that you can understand it on your own also. Read it carefully and then listen to my explanation. So the sentence is beginning with 650 million years ago. So if you convert it in Indian number system, it will come to 65 crore years. I have checked, though my mathematics is not very good. So 650 million years ago, that means 65 crore years ago, a giant amalgamated southern supercontinent. Four very important words. A giant means very big, amalgamated means taken together, southern talking about South Pole, supercontinent is a combination of all continents. So 65 crore years ago, if you convert it into international number system, it will come to 650 million years ago. So 650 million years ago, the entire world used to be the part of the same landmass, and that landmass was called Gondwana. Now, so 65 crore years ago, this Gondwana existed. This line is talking about did indeed exist, centered roughly around the present day Antarctica. So this Gondwana was existing towards the South Pole. What was the climate then? Things were quite different then. How was it different? Humans hadn't arrived on the global scene, number one, and the climate was much warmer, two, hosting a huge variety of flora and fauna. Hosting a good variety of flora and fauna means it had a rich and diverse ecosystem with many different species of plants and animals. Now let us go a little deeper into this sentence. So what she is talking about, that 65 crore years ago, when man was not on this earth, that Gondwana supercontinent was there. And it was existing somewhere in the South Pole, region. And then the climate was different. Things were different. Man hadn't arrived on the global scene. The climate was much warmer, and there were variety of flora, plants. Flora means plants, and fauna, animals. So millions and millions of varieties of plants and animals were existing, surviving, thriving during that time. Then what happened? What about the history? What happened to that Gondwana island? Then last part, see, 500, let me bring it here. For 500 million years, Gondwana thrived. So 500 million years means how many years? 50 crore years? Yes, 550. 50 crore years. So 50 crore years, this Gondwana, this one landmass, survived. But around the same time, when the dinosaurs were wiped out, that means dinosaurs became extinct some 15 crores years ago. 15 crores years ago. Remember, so then these animals, dinosaurs were existing. So they became extinct during, and mammals, means four-footed animal, started coming on the earth. The landmass was forced to separate. So during this, you can say 15 crore years ago, the Gondwana island started breaking into different pieces. And then the different continents got created. Asia, Europe, Africa, Antarctica, the present day continents. So this paragraph has been summarized by me here, right? So if you face any problem in understanding that high standard language written by Tishani Doshi, you can understand it in my language. Now, so she says that in 2009 when she is visiting Gondwana Island or that Antarctica, so to visit Antarctica now is to be a part of that history, the history that began 65 crore years ago, to get a grasp of where we have come from and where we could possibly be heading. It's to understand the significance of Cordilleran folds. Now, what does Cordilleran fold means? In simple language, you can say formation of mountain ranges, like the Himalayas is a mountain range, and there are a number of mountain ranges in the world. So, starting from 65 crore years till 2009, this earth has gone massive changes. And Precambrian granite shields. Precambrian granite shields, actually presence of granite rocks that date back to the Precambrian era, some 541 million years ago. Moving on to ozone and carbon, evolution and extinction. Evolution, that means coming of the species on the earth, their death. When you think about all means when you think about the significance of Cordilleran folds, then Precambrian granite shields, and you are talking about ozone and carbon, you are talking about evolution and extinction. So when you think about all that can happen in a million years, it can get pretty mind-boggling. Imagine, she says, just make a mental picture. Imagine India pushing towards jamming against Asia to buckle its crust and form the Himalayas. So you make a mental picture of India. So India is just you can make a mental picture. India is a machine and it is moving towards China. So because it is moving towards China now, so far as the birth of the Himalayas is taking. So this is how the Himalayas got formed, because of the jamming or moving of India. South America drifting off to join North America. Now, South America and North America are joining, opening up the Drake Passage to create a cold circumpolar current, keeping Antarctica frigid, desolate, and at the bottom of the world. Now, what this paragraph means, you can understand from this simple explanation. I have explained it simply so that you can understand it on your own also. So you can do that on your own. Let me move ahead. Now she is talking about herself. For a sun-worshipping South Indian like myself, 2 weeks in a place where 90% of the Earth's total ice volumes are stored is a chilling prospect. So she is talking about that I am a South Indian lady, a South Indian woman, which is famous for its warm climate, and this South Indian lady worshipping sun worshipper is now there in what you can say in Antarctica. So being there is a chilling prospect. What does chilling prospect means? Not very good, unappealing and upsetting. Why? Not for circulatory and metabolic functions, but also for the imagination. So she means to say that The prospect of spending time in Antarctica is not only physically challenging but also mentally challenging due to the extreme environment, or you can say that cold climate. So she means to suggest that. So it's like walking into a giant ping pong ball devoid of any human makers. What are the human markers? Not maker, human markers. No trees, billboards, buildings. So you cannot see all those things over there. You lose all earthly sense of perspective and time here. The visual scale ranges, that means if you run your eyes, you can see small things to large things. So the visual scale ranges from the microscopic to the mighty, midges and mites to blue whales and iceberg as big as countries. The largest recorded was the size of Belgium. So you can see iceberg that could be the size of the countries, and the largest size of this iceberg is the size of Belgium. And what happens then? Days go on and on and on in surreal 24 austral summer light and a ubiquitous silence. Ubiquitous silence means silence all around. Ubiquitous means all pervasive, everywhere, interrupted only by the occasional avalanches or carving ice sheet consecrates the place. It's an immersion that will force you to place yourself in the context of the Earth's geological history. And for humans, the prognosis is not good. The word prognosis means prediction. So for human beings, the prediction is not very good. Simple explanation of this paragraph is given here. If you have any problem in understanding my explanation, or if you feel that I am going a little faster, you can always read and prepare your own notes. Now, how human activities have impacted the earth. Let's understand it. Now, let's begin understanding how human activities have impacted the earth. Without my discussion, you can also understand that our activities, that human activities have impacted a lot. How? You just think for 30 seconds and you can get answer to this question on your own also. But because you have to write properly in your answer, in your examination, so you must know the context of the story. So very simple, very easy to understand. You look at the paragraph and I am highlighting the important keywords. You keep them in mind. So human civilizations have been around for a paltry 12,000 years. Paltry means very small period of time. Barely a few seconds on the geological clock. What is a geological clock? A geological clock is used to measure the time of history of Earth. In simpler words, if I ask you to say when did the Earth began, means what is the origin of the Earth, then its history, then the present time. So you cannot measure the history or the time of the Earth or its evolution in seconds or minutes or hours or days or weeks. So geological clocks are used, which indicates years and years and eras, such kind of periods. So in human civilizations have been around for a paltry 12,000 years, barely a few seconds on the geological clock. In that short amount of time, that means in just 12,000 years period of time, we have managed to create quite a ruckus. This question is coming in exam, etching our dominance over nature, etching our dominance in nature. That means in these 12,000 years only, man has created ruckus, means created havoc on this earth. How? Answers are here. Here, point number one. Beginning from here with our villages, towns, cities, mega cities. So we have started creating villages, towns, cities, mega cities. Point number one. Two, the rapid increase of human populations. So you can see expansion of or flood of people, expansion of you can say population explosion all over the world has left us battling with other species for limited resources. So there is increase in the number of people, and because the number of people is increasing, so man is fighting for its resources. Land resources, land, air, water, space. So these are the basic requirements. And the unmitigated burning fossil fuels has now created a blanket of carbon dioxide around the world. So what is the result of burning fossil fuel? The result of burning fossil fuels is unmitigated this creating a blanket of carbon dioxide around the world, which is slowly but surely increasing the average global temperature. This point that I taught you by highlighting the keywords must be memorized by you. This question is coming in your examination. If any question is to come, this will be the first one. Now, climate change is one of the most hotly contested environmental debates of our time. You have seen in newspaper, in news channels, everywhere, in magazine, everywhere this climate change topic is being discussed and debated every time. Now, will the West Antarctic ice sheet melt entirely? Will the Gulf Stream ocean current be disrupted? The Gulf Stream is actually a powerful warm ocean current in the Atlantic Ocean, running along the eastern coast of Northern America and then turning northeastward toward Europe. While will it be the end of the world as we may know it? Maybe, may not. Either way, Antarctica is a crucial element in this debate, not just because it's the only place in the world which has never sustained a human population and therefore remains relatively pristine in this regard. What does this line mean? In simple words, I have written the explanation within the brackets. You can use it. Antarctica is often described as pristine because it is one of the few places on the earth where human populations have never established permanent settlements or had a long-term impact on the environment. But more importantly, because it holds in its ice cores half-million-year-old carbon records. So carbon records refers to data or information about historical levels of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases that are trapped in the layers of ice in Antarctica's ice cores. Trapped in its layer, this is the meaning. I do not think it is required. Next, she is talking about Students on ICE program. Now, let me give you a brief introduction of this program. So far as Students on ICE program is concerned, it is a type of program started by Canadian rich person, or you can say billionaire, whose name is G.F. Green. And it was his thinking that if students are being taken to Antarctica, they can understand how man's activities, human activities are impacting the earth, and tomorrow when they hold important positions, they will take measures, they will take steps to protect environment, to protect this earth, and do something that will be in favor of preserving our environment. So with this ambition, with this purpose in mind, G.F. Green began this program called Students on ICE. And Tishani Doshi was part of Students on ICE program when she was taken to Antarctica in this regard. So this paragraph is talking about that history. So it says Students on ICE, the program I was working with on the Shokalski, aims to do exactly this by taking high school students to the ends of the world and providing them with inspiring educational opportunities which will help them foster a new understanding and respect for our planets. It's been in operation for 6 years now, headed by Canadian G.F. Green, who got tired of carting celebrities and retired rich curiosity seekers who could only give back in a limited way. With the Students on ICE, he offers the future, and this part is very important. You can quote it in your answers. With the Students on ICE, he offers the future generation of policymakers a life-changing experience at an age when they are ready to observe. Observe means when you are going over there, you are learning, you are taking information, and that information is becoming the part of your thinking. So you are learning. And when you are learning, then you are becoming sensitive towards earth, towards environment, towards the space, and you, the future policymakers, can act in a sane manner, wise manner, to take proper decision to protect all these natural bounties. So this is what I have written here, given the explanation of that paragraph here in bold. You can use simple language if you have any problem in understanding. The reason the program has been so successful is because it's impossible to go anywhere near the South Pole and not be affected by it. It's easy to be blessed. The word blessed means being indifferent, unconcerned, or nonchalant about a particular issue or situation. What she means to say that when we are sitting here in our rooms, in our homes, on land, traveling, and not understanding our impact, not understanding the seriousness of this climate change, then it's easy to be indifferent. It is easy to remain unconcerned. Whatever is happening, I have got nothing to do with it. So it is very easy to have or develop this kind of attitude. But once you be there, once you be and see the things happening with your own eyes, that icebergs are melting at such a rate, and how our activities are impacting, then you get affected, and then you start thinking about how to resolve such kind of issues. So this paragraph is talking about this. Now moving on to this. Antarctica, because of her simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, is a perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. Repercussions means outcomes, results. Take the microscopic phytoplankton, those grasses of the sea that nourish and sustain the entire southern ocean's food chain. These single-celled plants use the sun energy to assimilate carbon and synthesize organic compounds in that wondrous and most important process called photosynthesis. Scientists warn that a further depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of phytoplankton, which in turn will affect the lives of all the marine animals and birds of the region, and the global carbon cycle. In the parable of the phytoplankton, there is a great metaphor for existence. Take care of the small things and the big things will fall into place. What does it mean? It means the example of phytoplankton in Antarctica's ecosystem serves a powerful metaphor, a symbol for life in general. The passage highlights Antarctica's unique ecosystem, particularly the role of phytoplankton, tiny organisms that are vital to the southern ocean's food chain. The metaphor of the phytoplankton emphasizes the importance of paying attention to small details and taking care of seemingly insignificant aspects of life, as they can have significant consequences. Hope you are understanding now the last part of this story. She says, my Antarctic experience was full of such epiphanies. Epiphanies means understanding, or you can say discoveries or findings. It means that the author's Antarctic experience was filled with moments of deep understanding and discoveries. But the best occurred just short of the Antarctic Circle at 65.55 degrees south. The Shokalski had managed to wedge herself into a thick white stretch of ice between the peninsula and Tadpole Island, which was preventing us from going any further. The captain decided we were going to turn around and head back north. But before we did, we were all instructed to climb down the gangplank and walk on the ocean. So there were we, all 52 of us. There were 52 members, or you can say crew member, or those who visited, knitted out in Gore-Tex and glares, walking on a stark whiteness that seemed to spread out forever. Underneath our feet was a meter-thick ice pack, and underneath that 180 meters of living, breathing salt water. So she's talking about the structure, that where the ice, below that ice there was salt water, that means ocean water, and in the periphery creditor seals were stretching and sunning themselves on ice folds, much like stray dogs will do under the shade of a banyan tree. So she is talking about the scene of Antarctic. So that's very important. It was nothing short of revelation. Everything does indeed connect. Now, the explanation or summary of this paragraph is given here in simple language. You read and understand. Meanwhile, the last paragraph. 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 bodies of water, and many ecospheres later, I was still wondering about the beauty of balance in play on our planet. How would it be if Antarctica were to become the warm place that it once used to be? Will we be bound to see it? Will we be around to see it? Or would we have gone the way of the dinosaurs, mammoths, and woolly rhinos? So she is talking about that, what will happen in the future. As dinosaurs, mammoths, and woolly rhinos have become extinct, so is it possible that after some thousands years later, this species, human species, man can also become extinct in the way? Who is to say? I don't know. I will not be living to see. So you should worry. Okay, may God bless that you live millions of years. But after spending 2 weeks with a bunch of teenagers who still have the idealism to save the world, all I can say is that a lot can happen in a million years, but what a difference a day makes. So this is the last paragraph of this essay, and its explanation is given in the bold because I think that the language is a little standard. So if you feel that it is difficult for you to understand her language, I have given you the simpler language to write your answers. Now here we are in front of you is a summary, journey to the end of the earth summary. So pay attention to it, read it. I don't think it needs my explanation. Now, after we have completed the explanation of the entire article line by line, I do believe that you must have understood. But if anything is left doubtful, please go to that particular part of the explanation, watch it 2-3 times, and I think it will become clear for you. And if anything is left, means if any doubt is left in your mind, so let us see this summary part. It will help you get a clearer picture in a nutshell. So let us understand from the first sentence. The article, this article, that means the journey to the end of the earth, it is an article, it is not a story. So this article recounts means narrates. So this article recounts the author's journey to Antarctica aboard a Russian research vessel. So this article, the particular article that we have just finished, narrates Tishani Doshi's journey to Antarctica and how she boarded a Russian research ship that took her to Antarctica. Now, second line, highlighting the stark contrast between India's current location, as you can see where India is and where South Pole is. So she has highlighted that there was a time when India and Antarctica used to be the part of the same landmass called Gondwana. So you can understand that there was a time when India was there in the South Pole, highlighting the stark contrast between India's current location and Antarctica's ancient connection as part of the Gondwana supercontinent. It emphasizes the significance of Antarctica in understanding Earth's geological history. So this also this article also highlights the significance of Antarctica in understanding Earth's geological history. Earth's geological history means evolution of the Earth, especially in the context of climate change and carbon records trapped in its ice cores. So, because Antarctica has still trapped carbon records, it will help in understanding the Earth's past, present, and future. The author discusses the impact of human civilization on the planet. We have seen how she has discussed that the human activities, developing cities, mega cities, and burning fossil fuels, how human activities are affecting this planet. So the author discusses the impact of human civilization on the planet within the brief time span of 12,000 years and its consequences. We can understand, if we continue to burn fossil fuel like this, then what consequences, what results, what repercussions we may have to suffer. It's easy for anyone, for you, for me to understand. Okay, so now let us see the last two paragraphs of this part. The article also mentions the Students on Ice program, which aims to educate high school students about the importance of environmental conservation by taking them to Antarctica. The program's success lies in the transformative experience of witnessing the effects of climate change firsthand. The author reflects on the interconnectedness of the world and the potential consequences of Antarctica becoming warmer. It concludes with a sense of hope inspired by the idealism of the younger generation in their efforts to protect the planet. Let me explain it in simpler words. So when we are talking about this chapter, let us begin the first line. The article also mentions the Students on Ice program. So we have seen Tishani Doshi talking about the Students on Ice program, with which she was associated and had been working for last 6 years. And this program, Students on Ice program, aims to educate high school students, that means students like you, students who are in standard 11, standard 10, standard 12. Why? Because they can understand the importance of conserving this planet, the earth, the seas, the oceans, and finally they can become sensitive to take some measures even about Antarctica. The program's success lies in the transformative experience of witnessing the effects of climate change firsthand. So sitting here in your room or attending your classes and having debate and discussion on climate change will not make you sensitive. And once you are being taken to Antarctica and you see the repercussions, or you can say consequences of human activities with your own naked eyes, then I think you will become more sensitive and will think that yes, there is a crying need to do something to protect our earth, to protect our environment, to protect our land mass, to protect our water bodies. Then it is possible. The author reflects on the interconnectedness of the world, how the world used to be interconnected with each other, and the potential consequences of Antarctica becoming warmer. Towards the end of this article, she has told that if things continue like this, if we continue to burn fossil fuels, if we continue to produce more and more people, if we continue to fight for resources and do nothing for the climate change, then the result can be catastrophic. But it is possible that since more and more students are being taken to that region, Antarctica, so it is possible that these policy makers of future can think something and can do something for this Mother Earth. This article highlights that point, and I do believe that you must have understood my explanation, but it will be good if you translate this knowledge into your marks. So hope this explanation gives you complete information about this chapter. This is all from my side.